Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to this week's Picks Against the Spread, brought to you by our friends over at MyBookie. It is Divisional Weekend, and at least for me, if you're anything like me, Divisional Weekend is the best weekend of football in the entire year outside of Week 1. You could pretty much guarantee you're going to get 4 amazing games this weekend every single year because only the best teams are left. It's 8 really good teams going head-to-head. All of these games, in a normal week in the regular season would be up for like game of the week. So it's a really, really great week of football. I personally can't wait. But we also want to make some money off of them too. So why don't we kick things off first with the Colts going to KC, got a 1 seed against a 6 seed. And this was the matchup, and I've said it over and over and over again. And I missed on it last week because I was kind of picking with my heart more than my head. I went 3 or 4 last week, and my one, if you can call it a miss, was picking against the Colts, even though I knew that they were a severe threat to Houston in the first round. And I've been saying it for a long time that the Colts are the last team that the AFC wants to make the playoffs as a 6 seed. They are the most dangerous 6 seed that I have seen since the Packers ran the whole table, 7-8 years ago. They are incredibly balanced. They have a great offensive line. They can stop the run. They can stop the deep ball. They can shoot clock. They can get into a shootout. They have an MVP caliber quarterback. They have a great head coach who's not afraid to, take chances and gamble when he needs to. And a lot of times in the playoffs, you got to take chances and gamble. Matt Eberflus is a great defensive coordinator. Like, this is a loaded team that had no business starting 1-5, but they ran into some hardships as they were kind of getting going during the year, and they weren't healthy when they started out the year. That obviously hurt them, but they had no business being 1-5, and the fact that they've won 10 out of their last 11 or something like that, that doesn't surprise me at all, because they are a phenomenal team, and they are, truthfully, in my opinion, the last team that Kansas City wants to play against. Because what hurts Kansas City? Teams that can run the ball and keep their offense off the field. Teams that can stop the deep ball, which Kansas City has a great deep passing game, especially because I believe Sammy Watkins is going to be back this week. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, we know what they can do when it comes to deep balls. Indy is great at stopping the deep ball. They're great at stopping the run. Darius Leonard is a fantastic player. He's one of the best rookie linebackers I've ever seen. And then when you factor in the fact that, if you want to get into a shootout, let's say they are able to get a couple deep shots in there and put up some points, Andrew Luck's not afraid of a shootout. He's not a game manager dink and dunk guy. He can play that style, but, if you want to go deep with him and T.Y. Hilton all day, yeah, he could do that too. They are a way more balanced team than Kansas City. Even though Kansas City overall has a better offense, balance matters in the playoffs. Being able to play defense matters. Being able to run the ball matters. Being able to protect your quarterback matters. I do think that the Colts are going to win this game. And even if Kansas City wins, I don't think a 5-point spread is a good line for them. I would take either the Colts to cover and barely lose, or to win outright, truth be told. This is a really, really bad matchup for Kansas City. And I've been saying it for months now. For months, that the Colts were, in my opinion, the best team in the AFC South. I should have picked them last week. I was letting my Texans homerism cloud my judgment, but God, they are so dangerous, so dangerous. And if they didn't have a really funky 1-5 start in the first 6 weeks, they probably could have challenged for a playoff bye, to be honest. They're that level of good. So, Chiefs fans should take them very seriously. That's the last team they want to face, and I'm going with the Colts at +5. That's a pretty easy pick for me. Moving on to the next game. Again, a very interesting line. We got the Cowboys at +7. I'm going with Dallas here. This line, 7 points. I don't understand that, because what are the 2 things that hurt the Rams? A physical downhill running game, check, and a fast, rangy linebacking core that can stop outside zone, check. When it comes to Leighton Vander Esch and Jalen Smith, they can match Todd Gurley, speed for speed and physicality for physicality. Zeke is like the Rams' worst nightmare in terms of running back and just being able to churn out yards over and over and over again and keep them on schedule, keep that Rams offense off the field. Dallas has a really, really, really good secondary. but still, I think their corners are pretty decent matchups for these Rams receivers. Byron Jones is a fantastic corner, and I think he's a pretty good matchup for Brandon Cooks. At least if he's down in press, he can kind of bang him up a little bit because he's got definitely a size and length advantage on him. So like this is just not a good matchup for the Rams. And even if they win, like a 7-point line, like that is big. That is really big. And I get they're at home. I get they had a week of rest, but just schematic and personnel matchups alone, like I don't like that at all for them. I really don't. Like we've seen them get beat up physically before by Chicago, by New Orleans. Like as soon as that run game is shut down and they don't really have the play action to go to, I don't know what else they got. I don't like this at all for them. So yeah, give me Dallas at +7. Even if they lose, like I don't feel comfortable betting for them to lose by more than a touchdown. Like that's insanity to me. Like this is a really, really, really good Cowboys team. Even if they are banged up a little bit in the receiving core, that's a weird line. But anyway, let's go on to the next game, which is the Chargers going up to New England. It's arguably the best home team in the league against arguably the best road team in the league. And the only game that the Chargers have lost on the road was also in Los Angeles. So they haven't even lost a game outside of LA this year. And this Chargers team, it just feels a little bit different, man. It feels a little bit different. Usually this time of year, they're really banged up. They kind of stall in the run game a little bit. It feels a little bit different. I don't know about you guys, but it feels a little bit different to me. Their defense is playing great. Their run game they didn't do great against the Ravens, but nobody does. I believe in the run game. I believe in the receiving core. Keenan Allen's an elite receiver. Phillip Rivers played like an MVP candidate this year. I don't know, man. This one feels a little bit sketchy for New England. I get that they're a great home team, but man, there has not been a better road team in the league by far than the Chargers. I mean, they went into Kansas freaking City on Sunday night with the division on the line and beat the Chiefs in KC. If you can win there, you can win anywhere. And this is a really hungry Chargers team. Also, one note, I don't want to use this as like a point about the game itself. Man, prayers for Brandon Mebane and his family. He just lost his young daughter, his infant daughter, this past Thursday. She passed away. I believe it was a complication with her heart. She was born back in November. Just a truly horrific situation. I don't know if he's going to play. Been some rumors that he is playing. I don't even know if I could play if I was him. Like that is incredible that he's even thinking about playing. But if he does, like I know that team, it's a very close locker room. They're going to rally around him. And man, I know that Brandon's not going to watch this, but damn, like that's a truly horrific situation. And prayers up for him. Like that's the toughest thing that he's ever going to go through in his life. And I truly hope that he and his family can get through that, because that's horrible. But even if he doesn't play, I do think that his team's going to come through for them. And I think they're gonna play for Brandon. They're gonna play for his daughter. And I think they're gonna go up to New England and they're gonna get a win. Again, a lot of people are gonna disagree with me on that, but the matchups, I don't feel comfortable for New England with these matchups, and there's something special about this Chargers team. There's something special about their chemistry, about their locker room, about how they do business on the road. It's a different Chargers team this year. It really is. So again, even if they lose, a 4-point spread sounds good for me. I think they are truly better on the road than they are at home, and it's a rarity to see a team kind of come together and face adversity like that together. But they've been doing it all year. They truly have been. Also, let's see. Let me look at what the over-under is in this game real quick while I'm here. Over-under is at 47. Bet the over. Bet the over. Wow, how is that only 47? But okay, yeah, that's free money to me. But anyway, let's move on to our last game of the week, which is the Eagles going to New Orleans. This is the biggest line of the week. New Orleans is favored by 7.5, which means they're expected to win by more than a touchdown, or at the very least, touchdown on 2-point conversion. This is the one that, out of all the big lines this week, this is the one that I kind of feel the best about the favorite covering. I understand that the Eagles have been playing a lot better in the last couple months, And I understand that they've kind of figured out their secondary. Avonte Maddox, he gets beat by a lot of double moves, but he's been playing pretty well. Craven LeBonc's been playing really well. Rasul Douglas has been playing well. Like, the whole secondary's been very much improved since early to mid-season. But I don't think they've got anybody that can cover Michael Thomas. Just like when I said last week that they don't have anybody that can cover Allen Robinson, and that pretty much bore out to be true. And it almost came back and bit him, because Allen Robinson made that huge catch to get him in field goal range, and the field goal was eventually blocked. But the fact that they can't cover like really, really, really good big-bodied wide receivers that can out-jump you and run past you, like they don't have like a true number one corner that can match up with those kind of receivers. And now they're going up against Michael Thomas. Like, that's going to bite him in the ass. I can tell you that much. They can stop the run really well, so I don't expect much from their run game, the Saints run game, that is. But if you can't cover Michael Thomas and you can't cover Alvin Kamara, sorry, you're toast. Especially in New Orleans, when they've had time to heal up, when they've had 2 weeks to prepare and kind of self-scout their tendencies. When they're in the dome, where they always play better. Like, this is the one game where it's, if there's going to be a playoff game that finished by like a 10-point margin, this is probably the one that I kind of feel good about that being it. So, give me the Saints in this game. Not going to be a blowout like it was last time, at least as big of a blowout as it was last time. But if it was like a 10 to 12-point margin, that wouldn't shock me at all. So give me them minus 7.5. Again, to recap, we got Indy. I'm taking them at +5. I'm taking Dallas at +7. I'm also taking the Chargers at +4. This is going to be a weekend of upsets to me, a weekend of road victories outside of the Saints. And that'll bring us to, again, me predicting, I think it's going to end up being Dallas and New Orleans, a rematch in New Orleans for the NFC Championship game. If you told me that was going to happen, 3 months ago, I would have laughed in your face, but here we are. And I think it's going to be the battle of wildcard teams, with the Chargers hosting the AFC Championship game as a 5 seed against the 6 seed Colts. Again, if you told me that was going to happen 3 months ago, I would have laughed in your face. Well, maybe not the Colts part, but the Chargers part maybe. So, man, I truly can't wait for this weekend of football. I think it's going to be epic. I think it's going to be a historically good division week, because these wildcard teams are all really, really good. And, I'm super stoked. So, again, if you want to bet on any of these games this weekend alongside with me, I already locked in my bets because I wanted to do it before these lines changed, because I guarantee you they will change, and I recommend you guys do it too. Head on down to that link in the description below to MyBookie. All Film Room viewers get up to a 50% deposit bonus with promo code Brett on sign up and deposit. Basically what that does is give you an extra 50%, or whatever your deposit is. Let's say you put down $100, you get $50 on top of that to use exclusively on the site as like house money. So maybe you just kind of want to dip your toe in and see what it's like to bet. And if you win with those kind of free wagers, you get actual money back in your account. So it's a really good way to kind of get started and feel out the process, and also kind of, reward you with a little bit of bonus money if you win with that house money. So it's really awesome. You can kind of turn it into free cash for nothing. I love it. But again, head on down to that link in the description below, enter promo code Brett on sign up and deposit, and you can take advantage of that 50% deposit bonus. Thank you again to MyBookie for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you guys for being such an awesome community. I kind of love going through the comments and all these picks videos and seeing all you guys rage at each other about who's going to win and who's going to lose. And but yeah, thank you guys for being awesome. Thank you guys for sticking with me through this whole year. It's been a really great season, and hopefully we can wrap it up in the last few weeks with some really damn good football. I'll see you guys later this week with another Film Room episode, and hopefully you enjoy that. Until then, later.